Hello and welcome to another video from Penultimate Dave. So today I thought I would show something a little different. Rather than actually doing a pen video, I thought I would actually show some notebooks that I have in my collection. Now, for anybody that has seen my Instagram posts, you'll know that I have just a few pens. And I say just a few pens lightly because I also have just a few notebooks as well. And I don't know about you, but if you're like me, this kind of is a disease. So basically, when you get your next pen, you order your next pen, and either you've just ordered it or it's just arrived, you're then already searching for your next pen. And the same sort of thing happens to me with notebooks as well. So here are just a few selections of notebooks and some of the pitfalls that I've had as well with some of these. So I just thought I would show these off to you today so you could have a look. So I'll just move these pens out of the way a little bit. So the first notebook you may have seen on my Instagram is this lovely New York notebook. It's one that was gifted to me, and I'll just zoom in a little bit so you can see here. It's a stunning. It's called a Nuno. I think it's Nunu, or something like that. It's this one is actually called Over New York. They do various different patterns, but it's like a silver pattern, and you can just see when you sort of like move it, the etched in silver on the black. It's like a rubbery black sort of finish to the book, but it is rather nice, and it comes in black, but then you actually have white dot grid pages. Zoom in on those dot grids so you can actually see them a little bit better there. And then the other thing also with this notebook, which is rather strange, is that you'll notice that the notebook is actually have a black sort of page outlining, which is kind of strange. So, but it's a lovely notebook, and one I do like. The pages in it, the texture of the pages are smooth. Feels very similar to Tomoe River, but not quite Tomoe River. So, whatever paper they're using is pretty good paper within this notebook. So this is one of the notebooks that I really do like and adore. I'll move that out of the way. And then there's a couple of other notebooks here. So these ones, these are from, I'm taking the labels off of these. These are from Paperchase. So you can see here. And Paperchase is like a stationery shop in the UK. And these are like World Traveller notebooks. And I like these for a number of reasons. One, because they actually have an atlas on them. So this one, also look at the sort of the metallic sort of shine that gets picked up when you move it. So this is really more like Oceania. So you have Australia here, and the good thing about these notebooks is that they're magnetic. So they just snap shut. And then when you open them up, you actually have another map. And this actually now shows like Alaska, Mexico, British America. It's quite interesting. It's a lined notepad, or notebook. So not everybody likes lined. The paper's a little bit more. I want to say toothy. It's a little bit more sort of like recycled type paper. It does take ink pretty well though, but and then when you flip it back to the rear, again you have this. You also have like a pocket here as well, so you can sort of just put something in there, and then it just, as I said, it just snaps shut. So this is an A5. I want to say A5 notebook, but it's not. It's an A5-esque or A5 sort of rough size, and I'll go over this in a minute because I'll go on a rant about A5 very shortly. this is the other notebook, and this actually has, like, the UK has Scotland on it. Again, rather nice, rather shiny. Um, Again, magnetic clasp. You open it up, like, you can just about see a magnet here and a magnet there. The maps inside are not that sort of vibrant or detailed on this one. Again, lined paper. Feels kind of like recycled paper, but it does take fountain pen ink fairly well. And again, sort of you flip it over, and so you have these just sort of more smaller sort of maps, and these are all slightly embossed. So I don't know if you can see that there on camera, but again, like Paperchase, it's not too bad. If you want a hardback notebook, because these are definitely hardbacks, then like it's not bad. Like, it's gonna take a bit of beating in your rucksack. I have a couple more that I've picked up, and these were like freebies that I received at some point. And these are two very nice Fiorenza notebooks. So Fiorenza is where Visconti comes from, so that's another reason why I really do like these. Now this one, I always have great difficulty taking this piece off. So this is really just a notepad. So it just opens up, and it has tear-off sheets. Again, paper's pretty good, fountain pen friendly. It's done like a newspaper. It's sort of Italy, Diva, obviously sort of newsprint there, and then the rear is just like it's not a bad notepad, but it's one that I don't really use that much. I tend not to be into notepads at the moment. And then there was this one called Fiorenza, another one. If I take this off. There you go. And this one is more of a hardback. And that, again, is quite nice. It shows like Fiorenza or Florence. I guess probably more in sort of like 1800s, maybe earlier. So it's a hardback. Again, it's not bad paper. It's less. It feels a little bit recycled, but less recycled than maybe the Paperchase ones. But I think in contrast, it's similar paper to this one. I'd say it's slightly more on the rougher side, not smooth side. So it really depends if you like smooth paper or rough paper or toothy paper. So that's a couple of so it's a notepad really, and a notebook that I have there. This one is a lovely notebook. So, again, this is called a cat-size notebook from Paperchase, and it's actually quite a nice one. Just it's actually embroidered, sort of like a sticky type embroidery going on here with the cat size. So you can see, like, they're pronounced, so like the stitch, it's almost like stitching going around the outside, and then some kind of like material on the inside doing the cat's eye. And this is a nice notebook. I've got a few of these. So this one was £10, again from Paperchase. Again, a dot grid format. I like dot grid. And the paper is extremely fountain pen friendly and also very smooth. So again, not quite Tomoe River type paper, but it's not bad for the price, £10. It's pretty good price. The ones that I like the most at the moment are the Enigmas. Now, so this is a Taroko Enigma, and so these come from Taiwan, from Taroko on Etsy, and they do a number of different size notebooks, both in physical sort of paper size and page count. So this one is quite nice. Like I said, it's really one of my favourites because This is a very well sort of stitched and glue bound notebook. I think it has 384 pages. It's Tomoe River, the 68 GSM version now, instead of the 52 GSM, and it's dot grid. The paper is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. If you want absolutely premium quality paper, Tomoe River paper, in my mind at the moment, from what I've seen, is the best paper out there. So whether or not you're writing letters or writing on notebooks, I really find this is the best paper. So this is another Taroko Tomoe River notebook, but I've actually got the Taroko notebook cover on this one. This is a leather cover. I've added a couple of stickers to it as well. You can see London, UK fountain pen stamp here, name and address, and an index. And here I've actually used it as my pen and ink test. So let me zoom in a little bit so you can see some of this. Move this out of the way. So I tend to, like, every time I ink up a pen, I just use this, and I'll, as you can see here, literally just do an ink scribble, and then write the name of the pen and then the ink. I don't put the date on, but I just want to sort of like get a good indication of what my pens and ink look like, or ink within a specific pen. So I always think that this is actually a very good, and you can see this is 68 GSM, so you do get a little bit of bleed through going on when you put down a lot of ink, but this really is a lovely notebook, and I think here somewhere I have, you can actually see, if I try to, what we've got here, we've got Organic Studio, for instance, here. So you can kind of see how this shimmers or sheens. Like look at that, like the Organic Studio, how it just changes colour. I also have some glitter or Twisby ones here as well. We do the Diamond Shimmertastic, so you can see some of these as well. Bring these up close so you can see. You can see just how well some of that Shimmertastic ink really does shine against the light there, and also J. Herbin there, the amethyst as well. So this notebook I just dedicate to ink testing, basically. And as I said, it's about 384 pages. The notebook cover comes separately, so you do have to buy that separate. It costs actually a lot more than the notebook, but I actually do like it. And you also have some slots here for business cards as well, if you want to. And you also actually have they call it a handy bookmark, which is quite good. How useful it is if you wanted to bookmark something near the front of the book, maybe not so much, but it's useful anyway. It's just a piece of the cutout leather there, but it's useful anyway. So there was another notebook that I got actually, and this was again gifted to me as a present. This is supposedly a handmade leather notebook, and you can see here if I unravel it. You have a knot here with the leather there, leather lace. This isn't that fountain pen friendly. This I can't remember the name of it, but it says it's made in Italy. The leather's quite nice, but the paper I think is about 80 GSM. So I've actually ripped a couple of pages out that I tested on, and it took a lot of my fountain pens okay, but the more broader stubs it had more of a problem with. So more the juicy wet stubs. So that was another notebook that I have. As you can see, I did say earlier, this is a little bit like a disease. That you have one notebook, then you get another. You have one pen, and you get another. So a while ago, I'll show you this. So I have some A6 notebooks as well. So again, like you have the Taroko Enigma, but in an A6 format here, which is just the baby little brother. But again, it's dot grid. It's got less of a page count than the 384 A5 version. But again, not bad as an A6 notepad if you just want to jot something down. And a while ago, I got these Start Bay covers, Start Bay notebook covers. You can see here, and this is basically an A6. It's just a leather cover, and I basically put Calipino notepads in here, and these are not particularly fountain pen friendly actually. So that's the Tomoe River. I think, yeah, you can see here that's a Calipino one. So not fountain pen friendly, but they're handy just to have by you. I've got a currently inked here as well. But I also did actually make up my own version with a Calipino cover with Tomoe River, and I started doing like ink swabs on here, like my own ink that I started to do at one point. And I use this really just as to start with as an ink journal that I could take with me. So about 6 months later, I wanted another notebook cover like this, where I could put A5 inserts in. So like I have like these. I have some Taroko A5 slim notebooks, and I wanted and also these Sumkin ones as well. And Sumkin, it's a little bit more toothy paper than the Taroko or Tomoe River ones. But again, these are dot grid. I think they're Sumkin. Are they Sumkin? Yes, Sumkin. These are dot grid, slightly more toothier paper, but they're quite good. So I wanted to do really the same as I did here with A6, but do it in A5. And I thought, well, yeah, like Start Bay, do an A5 version. And I got this from Colt Pens, and I went back to Colt Pens, and they no longer did the Start Bay notebooks. And I was like, oh, that's a real shame. But I thought, well, I remember Writing Desk doing A5 ones. So I went to Writing Desk, and they have them, but they're out of stock permanently. So it's like, well, okay. So I found something else, and it was called a Paper Republic Grand Voyager. And I thought, well, okay, I'll get this, and this is really good. It's A5, and I thought, great, I can put my A5 notebooks in there, the slimline notebooks. However, as you'll see, they don't fit. Like, there is a significant difference here, with about a centimetre here, or a finger width, and they just do not fit. So even though they're called A5, and you can see here's a Paper Republic A5, and you'll notice like it's their definition of A5 is a cover that is exactly A5, but once rounded, like once it's in book form, it becomes less of an A5. So I then bought this, and I then like literally like had to cut down every single and I didn't do it very well. I did it with a knife, but you see it's frayed a little bit. But I literally had to cut down every notebook to make it fit, because as you'll see here, like there is quite a difference here. So be very careful when you buy notebook covers that say that they are A5, because they're not always A5. So at that point, I thought I don't really want to keep cutting down notepads, because I'm wasting notepads, and as you can see, they're not being cut down very well. I don't have a guillotine, I probably should get one. So I then got this. This is a Start Bay notebook, and I realised or notebook cover. I realised that they actually have their own website, so I was able to order this direct from Start Bay. And this is a Start Bay notebook, and you can see here that these notebooks actually fit really, really well. So you don't have to cut them down. They come with these string cords. You can fit up to 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 in here at the moment, and it just works really well. So I then got that, and they have Tomoe River notebooks in. So I thought, well, that's really good. So I then decided to get these notebooks. I wanted some disc-bound notebooks, and these are like this one here is Atoma. It's actually quite good. Like you can actually remove the pages like nice and easily. Like, they just pull out. And so you can get lots of refills. Like this paper is actually nice fountain pen friendly. So I got one of these, and I actually like the idea of the disc-bound being able to organize and rearrange the pages, and you can get these in dot grid, plain, and other types. So I thought they were quite good, and I'd get one of those. But then I also had this William Hanna that I ordered, which is a lovely leather notebook, very well done. Obviously you can see here some different stains, and like no notebook is ever the same, so you will pick up marks and scratches and stains, and it becomes really your own style of notebook at that point. And this is really nice. So this is from William Hanna in the UK. Various sort of guide sheets here. And I just started to do some like ink tests here. Again, really nice disc-bound notebook, very well designed, metal discs. So you can actually like pull in the pages and that, and just rearrange them. I didn't quite like the texture of this paper. It's smooth but has a slight like toothiness to it with my fountain pen. So I decided that I would use some of the Tomoe River. Now this is an A5 notebook. And what I hadn't realised is the Atoma is an A5 plus. Now you can see where I'm going with this. So although I love the paper in the Atoma, it will not fit easily. Like by the time I actually rotate it and put the cover up, it is just not going to fit. So I then have to cut down the pages and just take a knife to it or a guillotine so I can fit them in here. This was totally my fault. I should have realised that the Atoma are listed as A5 plus and not A5. Like nothing to do with William Hanna. William Hanna is really, really good, but it was just something that, again, it's another one of these like A5 to A5 pluses to A5 minus. Like, at least Atoma do actually list it as A5 plus, so I'll give Atoma that. But it was just another sort of issue that I really sort of discovered, and I just thought, well, like people obviously need to know about that, because if you're going to try and swap the paper, because I read a number of reviews, a number of YouTube videos saying you could just put the Atoma paper straight into the William Hanna, and although technically you can, because like literally like these all match up, the discs match up there, the paper clearly does not. So it's just one of those things that you have to bear in mind. That by the time you actually shut it, that as much as you want to do, like you're still going to have a little bit over here. So and here's a couple more A5 notebooks I have here. So this dot pages one, again, this is a Paperchase, £10. Has a black sort of edging to the pages. Comes in dot grid. Good page count as well. Nice rubbery like sort of cover, fill cover. and then we have this one I picked up actually when I was up in Scotland, and this was the Falkirk wheel, and this is just a plain white one. It doesn't fold flat, unfortunately, so it's not a great notebook. I should have really noticed that when I was buying it, but I really wanted it more so because it had Falkirk wheel on, and that was something that I was actually going to see at the time. There's a couple of like thinner notebooks here. These are varying types. Like I've got a grid one here. Again, this is a Paperchase in the UK, and it's a thin, very good fountain pen friendly paper as well. Just grids, and then we have dot grid on this one. They do plain as well. Slight rubbery texture to the covers on those. And I picked up a number of different like A6 versions. Like you saw an A5 version of this earlier, magnetic clasp. It's like an atlas notebook, hardback, has a pocket in there. Again, it's lined paper, has some bookmarks in there. It's not bad. It's an okay if you just want a small notebook to take around with you that's hardback. So that's actually, I'd say a little bit more of an A6. So the sticker's not on here anymore. It did say it was like a pocket or A6 notebook. This is more of an A6 notebook actually, on the left here. Again, this is so you can see the size difference again. So, but like this is quite nice, sort of very like gold, sort of like floral type notebook. Magnetic clasp again. This one doesn't quite lay as flat, and it's lined paper as well. But that's a nice little notebook. I got an owl notebook again, so like same size. Again, magnetic clasp, and this was, I believe, from Paperchase again. I really just wanted to sample a load of their notebooks, so this is lined. And then there was another like a peacock, and it was a peacock or some like it's more birdish like, I guess, floral, almost like dragon-like. But again, magnetic clasp, closure. But this is slightly different. So this is more like sticky post-it notes, and I like the look of this with some like just some very small note paper there. So I thought that looked quite nice, and that was something that was different. So I thought I'd pick that up. And I also went to see the Kelpies in Scotland and got a Kelpie. So you can kind of see the differences here in terms of what they would class as A6 type. Slight differences in notebooks. Again, another hardback. Now this one is all lined again, but again, it's official merchandise. So because I was there, I decided I wanted to pick that one up, and then you have the A6 Taroko Tomoe River. So again, sort of like you can kind of see the difference here between what is A6 and what isn't. So you just have to be a little bit careful when going for some of these notebooks. I thought I'd also show you a few more journal notebook covers as well. So these are actually some really nice covers that I got from an Etsy seller in the UK called Spencer Ogg. She has a number of different Etsy stores, and I'll post a link up for you in the description so you can see. But I thought this was a very nice sort of like a French like notebook cover. It's actually like a really like it's like a fabric print, I would say, if anything. But if I open it up, you can kind of see how nice that looks, and it fits all A5 notebooks, Hobonichis, the Taroko, Enigmas, anything that is actually A5 size. And then there's another one here that I got as well, which was just more of like a cartoon one. And when you open that up, it sort of looks quite nice. But these are actually quite nice because like you have a sleeve insert here, so you put the notebook cover in. If it's hardback, it tends to work a little bit better, and then you could put like a calendar in here or some other notes and that. So yeah, that was again quite a good one. And then this one as well, which is kind of a different print, and like a skull and snake, which I kind of like the look of, and so I thought that's in a very bright sort of almost like pumpkin orange, and there you can have a look. See the Spencer Og there, and that's her store. So so she has two stores there, spencerog.etsy.com and pdfpatternsplus.etsy.com. So it's definitely worthwhile checking her out if you're in the market for like a fabric cloth type notebook cover. Then she does A5 and A6s. You also actually get a couple of bookmarks as well, which come in really handy. So yeah, I thought I would show you those as well, just that you have a selection available. But yeah, so as I said, sort of pens can become a bit of a disease, but likewise, so can notebooks. And I have quite a few, and this is just like a very small collection of my notebooks that I have, and I do have a lot more, but yeah, it's becoming a bit of a disease, and the thing is, I don't actually write in all of them. Like I'll try out a couple of pages, and I'll think, well, you know what, those pages are actually pretty good, and then I'll just go and get another notebook, and as you can see, these notebooks just keep on coming and coming and coming. So there you have it. That's, I guess, my sort of like mini review of notebooks. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.